through the teaching, whether anything happens or not, but one thing is very clear and sure, that maturity, acceptance, patience happens. So more you teach, especially I notice with not fathers, mothers supposed to be, okay. Most of the mother, they get trained with their children, supposed to be, okay. Unless you are crazy, you make your children crazy. Because as a rule, you cannot give freedom to your child, nor you can restrict. That's why I said unless you are crazy. Because if you have some suppression, if you have some depression, if you have some, let us say, emotional turmoils and issue rebellious, what you will do? You will give complete freedom to your child. Finally, you end up in other way around. Forget what happens to them. They will destroy themselves, that's a different thing altogether. Or they will build themselves, that's another thing altogether. But definitely, as a mother, you will not have emotional growth. Because I am not bringing father, okay? Because father is escapist, okay? Most of the time, okay? There are some sincere fathers, okay? But they are good, very rarely, okay? Only credit time they come, okay? No, it's my child. Anyway, so also with reference to teaching, whether anything happens or not to the students, I don't know. If the teacher continues the teaching, I am sure one good thing is going to happen is we'll lose some hair, if not losing hair because of some prarabdha again or problem, definitely grey hair. And some maturity has to happen, like today, okay? But doesn't matter. Maharshinam bhruguraham giramassekam aksharam yajnanam japajajñosmi stavaranam himalaya. So, we have already discussed aham bhrugu iti. So, when I look at all these maharshis, the great among rishis, because all these words, so somebody started using in India Maharshi, so his nickname became Maharshi. So, rishi means rishanti jananti or rishati, if you want to put singular way, rishati janati or rishanti jananti, plural form. The one who knows. The one knows what? The truth. So they are called rishis. So generally we call them technically as mantra. Remember, mantra drashtara is a very technical word. The one who has seen the mantra, they are the seers, not the English seer, okay? English seer, English sages has a big difference between what we talk here, like the word Mahatma, okay? Recently it went, the word Mahatma, his birthday, okay? So, however, here we have to be very careful in this regard, that the one who knows truth, and they are also mantra drashtara. So they have seen the mantras. The mantras was revealed to them. They are not the author. They have not written any mantras. So this among all the rishis, and in fact among all the maharishi, not ordinary rishis, okay? So generally, mainly we take it as saptarshi, 7 rishis. So among all the rishis, great maharshis, now I am called Bhruguhu. Because why I am highlighting this point, sometimes I see in the social media and also in some ashrams I see also. Do you know this Photoshop? They put the sadhus of India. So in that they also put their gurus. It's a crazy idea. And of course it started by one international organization. They started spreading this thing. So now it is picking up, and I see a lot of time in the social media. So here you can take the same idea. If that is the case, like great sages of India. So in that you can put your gurus. You understand the photo? So your guru starts getting a place. So among Maharshis, so present recently one Maharshi was there, okay? So among all the Maharshis, including this fellow, you understand? Bhrigu. So that means I am equivalent to Bhrigu. Can you see this point? This is called marketing strategy. It's not like that, please. So why I am Bhrigu? Already we have discussed in the last class. We have a lot of discussions about Bhrigu, but one shortest thing to talk is that he could take that patience test of all the trinities. So who is the most patient? Okay, now Swamiji, we should also test you, okay, whether you have patience or not. Okay, please keep your test. I am not interested, okay. Then if you want to take my patience test, please be my guru, so that I will love to become your disciple, okay. So it is better. In fact, somebody said, Swamiji, you better to be disciple. I said, yes, thank you very much. No. Sometimes I will be your disciple. How is it possible? Either you teach me or you learn. Can you see this point? This is called dichotomy in thinking. This is dangerous. However, it's your problem, not my problem. But my problem is I have to listen to all these things, okay, once in a while. However, here is not only that. Giram asmi. So here it says, Giram ekam aksharam asmi iti. So among all the words, Giram means among all the words that we hear, we talk, everything. So in that, ekam aksharam asmi iti, I am only consisting of one syllable, one word. And what is that? That you know, that is called Omkara. So among all the speech, when I am Omkara, why I am Omkara? We have a lot of points to discuss. First of all, the shortest way, if we want to present the entire syllables, entire Sabda Prapancha. So Prapancha means the world of Sabda vocabulary. The shortest way to present is called Om. As we have seen in many occasions, many times, A, U, that A has to be talked while keeping your mouth open. Without keeping your mouth open, you cannot utter the sound A. U, you have to bring in between U and not ma, A, U, you have to close. So when you do this phonetic, so all this articulation that we make it, now all articulation will come this combination of these three. And interestingly, in Omkara, it is there, number one. This is very superficially in gross way. Whereas if we look at that Shastra, that Om is the essence. If we see very soon, Mandukya we'll see, okay? Mundaka already we have seen, Mandukya when we have time, we'll see Mandukya, and especially Mandukya Karika. For Karika, you have to prepare yourself a little bit going here and there. So Karika is not that easy, but however, we must see Karika, because Karika happens to be the work of the teacher of Adi Shankaracharya. So when something is written by the teacher of Adi Shankaracharya, it is worth saying, okay? So this is the interest we create, how to look at more further, okay? However, so when I am Omkara, because as we know, many occasions, many where we see Om iti samani gayanti. Everywhere Omkara has been talked in details. That what is the point that is being highlighted? That Omkara represents the totality. That's why we say, if you want to use the, let us say, the description of God in a shortest And that too without any adulteration, that is called Om. That's why we use the word. Other name of the God is called Om. In fact, technically, we cannot chant any God's name before Om. That's why Om Shivaya. So Om Shivaya Namaha. Om Lakshmi Namaha. So anything we do, start with Om. And only mere Omkara chanted by sannyasis. So in short, if we try to look at that, whether we do Veda Parayana, or we do just Namaskaram to the Guru, or we do any transaction, always we start with Om. That's why many people do here greet Hari Om. That is how, especially in whole Rishikesh, Haridwar, or Uttarkashi, or Sadhu circles, Hari Om. So this Om they would like to retain. And that's why, in fact, when we do it very nicely, when they serve to the sadhus, Om, 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 then of course sometimes we add the Ram also, okay, well, Annaram, 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 we don't say, rice, rice, rice. While serving to the sadhus, we never say rice, rice, rice. No, sorry. Annaram, 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 Chapati Ram, Puri Ram, Sabji Ram, okay, vegetable Ram, if you want in English, okay. So always the Ram word comes, because that only divinize. Not only that divinize, that actually associates something differently. Something really to be seen in culture wise. Okay? However, says not only that, let us not get into too much. Yajnana japa jagnyosmi. So also, among all the yajnas, I am called japa. So why I am called japa? As you know, we need to look at yajna rituals in details. For any ritual, you need qualification. Every ritual is not meant for everybody. Remember very clear. For example, let us look at Agnihotra. So that I'll give you two examples so that you can understand where we stand, okay? Agnihotra is a ritual only a person who is married, a grihastha, can perform. So that means there is ashram restriction. A brahmachari cannot do Agnihotra. A Banaprasthi cannot do Agnihotra. A sannyasi cannot do Agnihotra. Can you see this point? So in order to do Agnihotra yaga, one has to be married, a grihastha. That means restriction. This is called ashrama restriction. Let us come to Varna restriction. Varna restriction like Aswamedha yaga. So, if you want to do Aswamedha yaga, so you have to be a kshatriya, a king, a warrior. Whether it's anything makes no difference. Unless you are a kshatriya, you cannot do this Aswamedha yaga. That means a Brahmana Varna cannot do, a Vaishya cannot do, a Shudra also cannot do. So that means any ritual, any yaga, there is not only qualification is required called Varna Ashram. Then you say, oh, Varna Ashram is bullshit. Somebody told me, Swamiji, Varna Ashram is bullshit. I said, okay, remove your bullshit from your mind or feel some more real bullshit in your mind, okay? That is the best answer I can give, nothing else. Because it's a waste of time to the set of people thinking or talking. It's a really waste. However, coming to the point, that this Varna Ashrama, why I talk this language sometimes, because I get these questions. And moreover, this studying little bit this so-called thinking and leftist thinking, we call in India leftist thinking. So leftists have run away from everywhere. The last patch is there, China, okay? So when China will go away, then everything will be, hopefully normally will be okay. Let us see. But they left behind every house one on leftist. You understand? Every house has got a leftist. Good for nothing thinking, okay? So perverted. And they are called intellectuals. However, first of all, because they translate as a caste system, that's the problem happens. That's why. Varna and Ashram. Let us hold on to that, okay? Whether you understand or not is better. Less confusion. Whereas with reference to Japa Yajna, there is no restriction to any ashrama or varna. Can you see this point? A brahmachari can do japa. A grihastha can do japa. A vanaprasthi can do japa. And of course a sannyasi can do japa. Brahmana can do japa. Kshatriya can do japa. Vaishya can do japa. Shudra also can do japa. So this is the first step to look at, that yajnanam japo yajnasmi. If we look at this thing. Second thing also we need to look at. In yajna, there is violence, whether you like it or not. There are many yajnas, violence is there. Sacrifice. Some people, this leftist thinking, they go crazy. That's why this Buddha and his follower marketed this. So he had his own problem. Buddha had his own problem because Buddha was rejected. He was a man of rejection. Nobody talks that, okay? All the great stories they create about Buddha. That's why, remember this point very nicely, carefully, I am bringing it. I'll go to psychology, to Buddha, because Buddha comes my friend, okay? What can I do? So that's why. See, there is difference between loneliness and solitude. I am bringing this point very carefully, psychological, then I'll come to Buddha point. There is difference between loneliness and solitude. So what is the difference? Loneliness is a state of mind where you experience the pain of being alone. Correct? Loneliness is a state of mind where you experience the pain of being alone. What is solitude? Solitude also is another state of mind where you experience the glory of being alone. Can you see the difference? Every line is the same, but only two things differs. One is pain, other one is glory. And one knows only for one's own self whether I am going through loneliness or I am in solitude. Suppose I happens to be a guru or I have few followers, even if I am going through loneliness, what people will say is in solitude. The best example is Chaitanya. I have hundreds of beautiful, the Pratham Malanyaya. I am going to hit the first, not ordinary fellows, okay? Why to waste our time? However, as it happens with reference to also Buddha, because I was a child, I have learned something. Because in India, the education system was horrible, especially after this so-called independence. Everything was told lie to us. Nothing was told truth in our education system. Very unfortunate thing. So the story of Buddha we are taught those days. In his lifetime, when he was growing up, he had never seen a dry leaf in his life. Is it possible? In Himalayas, if it is believed that he was born in Nepal, Lumbini village, full of trees, surrounded by only trees, how come he did not see that a single dry leaf? Even is it possible? He had never seen a diseased person. Dead body I can understand. But at least some servant, this and that, they might have died. Suppose if he did not see anybody, that means mentally he was not okay. It's a common sense, okay? He has not seen any, dead person. The moment he came across these three, then there was a change anyway. Don't you think that is a created story? If you use little bit logic, it's a common sense one has to have. And the worst thing this fellow did, one of the worst thing, and he taught the world, in the night, he left a small baby and wife without informing. At least talk to her, convince her. If you cannot convince your wife and child, then how can you convince the whole world? He ran away. And after running away, it's called rebellious attitude. You understand? When you run away, you don't have any other choice. He was full of rebellious fellow. And of course, our system, Varnashram system, was so strong those days. He definitely must have come to a Swami to take sannyasa. So those days, if you take sannyasa, okay, you are free from everything. Of course, Swamiji said, no, sorry, we cannot give you. First of all, you are king. You are a king. So we don't want to take a risk. Second thing, you have run away. Technically, you are wrong. Go and settle the account, then you will do it. That ego is there. You have to give me sannyasa. No, sorry. Okay. If you don't give me, I have other option. This is called rebellious attitude. How he confirms the rebellious attitude. He has gone to all these Brahmins because we have another type of sannyasa that you can take karma sannyasa through the rituals. When you take from sannyasi, jnana, karma, both comes. So through the teaching, jnanam comes, and also ritualistically we do. Both we take care of it. That's why Guru only gives this sannyasa. Suppose you don't find any Guru, no problem. So you can go for karma sannyasa. So karma sannyasa means taking a cloth. And the best example is Kumbh Mela here in India now. All confused fellows, okay? All rebellious. 99% of the rebellious, if they hear me, this voice, they will go crazy. And if Akhada people listen, they will kill me, okay? Means they will go really against, don't talk all these things. I have to remove this. I'm sorry, with due respect. All the rebellious people, they took, not, and those who are taking in Kumbh Mela systematically different. Like, all these left, they come there. I'll give you a beautiful example. Another place is there in Rishikesh called Kailasa Ashram. So Kailasa Ashram is another ashram. I'm sorry to say, you people should know. That's why we ask, where did you take sannyasa? Then you will understand the lineage clearly. Kailasa Ashram is an ashram where you have, let us say, you are staying somewhere, studying under some teacher, there are some fight, you have left, some rebellious things is there. Now you can come to Kailasa Ashram, tell that Guru's name. So in that Guru's name, you can take sannyasa. Suppose you belong to Saraswati lineage, you can have Saraswati, you can have you lineage to Puri, your Guru. So in your Guru name, in the absence of Guru, you can take sannyasa, that is called Kailasa Ashram now. We have a lot of confusion. So all these rebellious people do end up. Like in South India, one Swamiji was very popular in television channels and this and that, everything was very popular from Kerala. So he did not get. Then he finally came to Kailasa Ashram and took sannyasa. So what happened after that, don't ask me, okay? That's another point to talk all there together. So these are I'm just giving a reconfirmation of how this jnana karma sannyasa comes. Buddha approached karma sannyasa, also he was rejected. And he got so angry and upset. You understand? I want to prove society. Then, whether he really sat or he was declared, God only knows, that's a big question mark. Definitely declared. Why I am saying definitely declared? How is it possible? At least when you create a story, create it properly. Those days, in fact, I have seen, till now also in Odisha case, when the king comes, the announcement will be there. What an announcement, you cannot think of, okay? Even nowadays also, when the ministers comes, how they announce praise, you cannot think of all these, those who soaping fellows, okay, put butter. So, those days, there were kavyas. Kavyas means a book of literature in Sanskrit in the favor of kings, adding all the good things they create. So, they created this fabricated story. What is that? Buddha the day was born. At least when you create a fabrication, little bit change it, okay? The day he was born, same day he got enlightened, and the same day he left his body. Not left his body, Nirvana. At least change something here and there, so that at least we'll understand authenticity, you understand? That's why he became so violent. This is the point I would like to say. And he went against Veda. That's why we call him as atheist. Both way. The atheist, Nastika, in Vedic angle, also in common language. Both way he was called atheist. Because you can be atheist, need not be atheist in the term of Vedic language. You can be atheist in the Vedic language, you need not be atheist in common language. So common language atheist means what? The one who does not believe in God, the existence of God. But technical atheist is what? Nastika. The one who does not believe Veda as pramana. So you have to be very clear in this regard, okay? Whereas Buddha represents this Nastika aspect in both the languages. Means both the understanding. How? This Buddha and his followers went against of what? Went against, this is the point, violence. And they created, because in Japa there are certain sacrifices, Bali. So when their Bali is there, so you cannot say no. Because Bali has its own purpose. Like we have one group of people, for example, with due respect to them, they, in order to stop the violence, that they cover with the mouth, like permanent mask. Only we use mask for some time, okay? A group of people, we have permanent mask. Nothing wrong in it, it's good. Because what is the thing? Because even if also while breathing, some bacteria will get in. We should not harm to the bacteria. And once upon a time, they were the invaders. That religion in India was the number one invaders. In fact, especially in Western India, Maharashtra. And these people, they started spreading to Tamil Nadu and other places. They have destroyed Hinduism like anything. And they are now, because they don't exist now, very minimum, very less people, now they support Hinduism. They are part of Hinduism, okay? In fact, Osho belongs to that group, okay? That's why Osho was critical of Hinduism, because that blood was in him. Because many people ask why Osho was critical of Hinduism, because that fellow was not, because he belongs to a religion where he was born, he was being brought up that against Hinduism. That's why he was talking against Hinduism. You have to understand the background of every things, or else it's a disaster. However, what I am highlighting here is Japa Jagyosmi is the most important aspect, where one can do Japam. Oh, already time, huh? What is going on today? That one can do Japa without any restrictions. A brahmachari, a grihastha, a vanaprasthi or sannyasi, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya or shudra, anybody can do it. And most important thing, there is no time factor involved, there is no ingredient involved. And we all are very good in articulation, both physical, mental. While sleeping, some people talk, okay? And sometimes also in yoga nidra, when you put asana, yoga asana, yoga nidra, you understand? And some people while sleeping also talk, you know better, I don't know to talk, okay? So we are very good in articulation. So if that is the case, definitely Japa Yajna is the one of the best thing to bring down, to prepare the mind to do everything. Because remember, what is the purpose of Yajna? Purpose of Yajna is to make you prepare yourself with confidence for the knowledge in different ways. That's why in Japa Yajna I can go on and on together because this is my favorite topic. Okay, that's why. Then the last one he says that, what is this gone somewhere? That, oh God. Stavaranam Himalaya. This verse gone somewhere. Okay. Stavarana. Among all these stavaras, stavara means we have to see that immovable. So you can say among all these mountains it's called Himalaya. Why it is called Himalaya? We have a beautiful saying in India especially. Okay. I'll take few more minutes today. Okay. For a man, the best place is, do you know what? In-laws house. Supposed to be, okay? Hey, you guys, some of men don't smile, okay? Don't laugh, okay? Because when you go your in-law house, as son-in-law, we said, Jamata dasamo graha. So the son-in-law is called 10th planet, okay? So this in-laws has to be that much careful with the son-in-law. That's why in India we have, when son-in-law comes, all will be on their toes. What are the dishes? You cannot think of many dishes. A great. We have also a celebration day. You can see some photos I can share. 30-40 items will be there prepared for the son-in-law to eat. And especially first time when son-in-law comes in North India to eat their house, you cannot think of, okay? First day will be some 20-30 items and then slowly it will reduce. When it comes to 3 items, means it's time to leave the place, okay? And interestingly, Himalaya is the son-in-law place, father-in-law place or in-law's place of whom? Lord Shiva. Don't forget this, okay? And remember, it's an interesting story you have to remember, because all these men think very badly, but this is what you have to understand. Remember, after marriage, don't open your mouth. Before marriage, whatever you can talk. After marriage, learn to keep quiet. This is the truth. If you don't have this set of maturity or patience, don't get married. And all of you are, so that's why I'm talking it, okay? It doesn't work. Look at Lord Shiva is in his in-laws place. Look at Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? Also in his in-laws place. Brahma indirectly is in in-laws place. So when these trinities are there in in-laws place, who are you? You understand? Better Lord to keep quiet. Apart from that, we look at here Stavara, especially when you say, here we look at mountain as alive. For us, mountain is not dead, unlike anybody. In fact, we look at as living personality. When we look at living personality, that's why as recently, few years back, the World Organization, all the so-called geographic, all these organs, they accepted that only Himalaya is a growing mountain. So, means alive. Every year was few mm every year or every few years, whatever they say. So they accepted, acknowledged Himalaya is only living mountain. It is not dead. You see rocks and everything is not dead, okay? Remember. That's why we say every rock or every peak represents one rishi. That's why when you come to Himalayas, mind is totally different. And he says, interestingly, I am the Himalaya. Again, why? Because Himalaya has given all the rivers, representing one deity. And later on, also this Himalaya has provided Ganga. In fact, first Ganga was there as in human form. Then Ganga was sent to heaven. Then from heaven, again Ganga was brought back to this earth. It's a big process. So in short, that among all these tavaras immovable, I am the Himalaya. More of it we'll see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashish Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, all of you.
Recording stopped.